What's up, brother man?
For the third time today, you're back. We're better. We were only on a hiatus. We've never gone. We were just trying to get a few things straightened out. That's it. Just trying to get a few things straightened out. But yes, it is great to be back on air. It's great to be back talking with you and talking about the beautiful Western PA sports. I don't know,
And we're
background.
never going to leave you again, Yinzers. Never.
Yes. You hillbilly yinzers we love too much. We are apologetic in the fact that we have not been out there talking sports with our fans.
And there's so much going on, too, which is going to allow us to talk. So, new format. We're just going to whip through every team and talk about what's at the top of our minds. So, let's start with them Steelers. 5-4, heading for 9-8. Big game Sunday against the Bungles. They got to win this one, but man, what a shit show.
Hey, we're up against Joe Flacco. I don't know. I have no idea what's going to happen. Joe Flacco. He spanked us last time. Will he spank us again? You know what? Who the heck knows? No one knows because no one even knows what the hell they're thinking about anymore. It's, man, when you talk about the mushy middle, it's like one weekend your foot's out of the mud, the next weekend your foot's in the mud. You don't even know where to go, and you can't get excited about any of it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think the last game, he just got rid of the ball so fast. We had no pass rush. We were playing zone. So that seems like a potential fix. Just play a little bit more man to man and
Uh,
don't let him get the ball out of his hands so quick.
I think
So,
that I think their fix is to hire more old people. How many more old people or injured people can we put back on defense? Let's get Samuel, Sante Samuel Jr. I mean, they're tired in the second half. The offense and everybody's not everybody. I always say that phrase. I shouldn't. People are screaming about the run game. Like, why aren't you running? You and I had a conversation the other day. Why not take Darnell Washington, have him go off the line 10 yards, stand up. The guy's like 8 feet tall, put his arms straight up. It's another, 2 feet. Throw the guy the ball and watch somebody try to tackle him. I would do it until they stop. We've had this conversation. If something works, keep running it until they stop it. I don't know what else to say.
yeah, it does seem he's always trying to hit him running down the field on slants, and I agree with you, man. He's the biggest MFer out there. Just, run 5 yards and turn around. We should be able to pick up. And Warren's averaging, I had to look it up, but he's averaging a pretty decent clip per rush. We're just not giving him the ball enough. And I think Rodgers is probably checking out of some runs, and that's getting us in a whole mess of trouble. But yeah, even if
Yeah.
they win on Sunday, which they probably will, be 6-4. You got to beat the Ravens both games later on in the season. I don't know if that's happening. But how about the Tomlin to the Giants? Our annual "Who can we trade our coach to" discussion. Think it's got any traction this time around?
No, I don't think it has any traction. The only reason why is because I think Belichick is struggling in North Carolina. And I think if he has an opportunity to get back to the NFL, he will. Just because I think he's more comfortable in running an NFL team than he is trying to run a college team. Look at Nick Saban. Nick does well in college, goes to the Miami Dolphins, and he bolts halfway through a season or whatever it is to go back to coaching the college ranks. And I just don't think that they're not going to get rid of Mike. It's the Rooney family. He's signed for what? Another 2 years, 26 and 27? I highly doubt that they will move on from him. And us fans will suffer through this exact same stuff next year. It's not changing. They are trying to band-aid every season with somebody older. And it's not working. It's not going to work. That defense is going to be exhausted by the end of the year, regardless of whether they make the playoffs or not. It's business. You and I have been in sports. We've both worked the business side. This is pure business anymore, in my opinion. It has nothing to do with winning. It's just business. and they're going to make money off all of us fans through tickets, merchandise, watching the games on TV, parking, concessions, you name it. I just don't think the Roonies really have it in them to care. Which, again, I'm speculating, but I mean, if you're gonna go all out and win, you're bringing in all these players. But then, as you listen to a DK or a Mark Madden or a Benz or something, bring up a really good point. If it's 4th and 1, why are you punting? If you're all out and you want to win, where you went out and got all the players you thought that was going to take you to the next level, then why are you playing so conservative? What do you get to lose? You know what I'm saying? I mean, just go, just do it. I don't understand. Is it the no losing season thing again, all over again?
Well, I noticed that
Maybe.
they released the guy. What was his name? Not Pierre. Uh, uh, Another defensive back that made the "This is the greatest
Oh,
defense of all time"
Thornhill. You're talking
comment.
about
Yeah,
Thornhill.
Thornhill.
Juan, something like that. Thornhill.
Yeah, they released him. So
It's
maybe I figure
yeah.
if they release him, it will be the greatest defense of all time. So we'll
Hey,
see
but
on Sunday.
I
But yeah,
mean, it could be.
they got to get back to a more traditional pass rush against Flacco. That was disgusting. And the Green
I
Bay
mean,
guy did it too.
and
Green Bay
the
did the
Green Bay
same
guy did it,
thing.
but look what Jordan Love has done the last 2 games. He's done nothing. I mean,
I
I
know.
it's tough. I mean, it's tough to try to explain one week how it's good, the next week how it's not good. And I know that everybody's not everybody. Again, I apologize, but they're all talking about how he always complains third down, third down, third down. But they're not running the ball. They're not play calling properly enough to put themselves in a situation to get a third down to move on. Instead, they're always coming up short. So, is it the play calling? Is Arthur Smith just not the right offensive coordinator? I mean, we can all sit here and speculate, but as as I've said it over the years, I mean, Tomlin has played himself out. He just has. I mean, again, nothing against Mike. Mike, thank you very much for all your hard work and the success that you brought to the Steelers organization, but you're not taking us to the next level. It's not happening anymore. So
He's
that's just
been with
my
the Steelers for like 5 years longer than Cowher was with the Steelers already.
opinion.
And what about Rodgers? It's like he obviously doesn't trust Arthur Smith's play calling because he checks out half the time and he takes the play clock down to zero. So a lot of this blame has to go on his shoulders. And I'm not ready to
Oh,
give up on him because I still think he's better than Russell Wilson by a long shot, even at this age. But he's screwing things up, checking out. I'm sure he's checking out of some runs, and then he's also thinking he can take deep shots, and he's throwing into double coverage on those. And he can't run. I think he actually checked into a run last week. I was listening on the radio, but the guys that were announcing the game said he shouldn't be calling that play because he can't run away from me.
see,
So Rodgers is definitely screwing some things up. And we had talked about this before. When's that going to all melt down? When's he going to start his prima donna routine? When we lose on Sunday, is it all just going to go downhill from there? It
I mean,
might.
and that's a great question, and it could be the turnaround where it comes down. Yeah, you talk about him checking out. It's like, why would you even check out of a run when you know the offensive line is still not the strength of the offense? And they're not going to protect you well enough based on who the defensive line is or the blitz packages that come after you. So why would you check out? And then secondly, I just don't. You have DK, but they're always going to cover They're always going to double cover DK. Like, why wouldn't you just throw it to the tight end, 5, 10 yards down the yard, down the line, whatever it might be? I don't. Again, you look at some of the simple things and say, why aren't we doing them? But again, I'm not the OC. I'm not the QB.
I wish
I'm
you
only
were,
just.
buddy.
I'm just a fan, just taking it on the chin. I mean, again, we're all Pittsburgh Steeler fans, and we're like, we want the team to succeed, we want the team to win, and we want to celebrate that. At the same time, I think half of us are going, we don't want to win because we want Tomlin to be, walk through the door. and we start a new process. And again, I can't remember where I heard it from. Was it Mark? Was it Colby? He was saying that they won't get rid of Tomlin next year either because of the draft, because the draft's going to be in Pittsburgh. So, like, are you going to bring in a new guy for the draft? This big, big ordeal. Again, it's a moneymaker, man. It's a total moneymaker. They're going to make tons of money. Does it matter whether they win? Does it matter whether they go 9-8 or 8-9? For us fans, it does, because there's a lot of people out there who I'm going to say are younger that live and breathe this. Like we did growing up. Like we really got into it and really got, after a while when you get to our age in the late 40s, um, we don't get excited about it as much anymore. But it's just like I think it's so much of a business now. I mean, look at Jones. Look at Jerry Jones. Dude's making money hand over fist. Does he really care about the Cowboys? I mean,
He's the general
now
manager, man. He's got to care about his team. No, he definitely cares about the almighty dollar a little bit more than the
yeah,
Cowboys. All right, well, let's move on to the Pens. You
depends.
know, I can't say that I believe that they're going to make the playoffs after such few games, but I guess they got a 2-game stretch coming up here in Europe, Sweden or something, where they're playing the uh, Predators. Maybe they're playing a
I think it's
team that they
national.
definitely
Yeah,
can. Yeah, they if they win both these games, I think they're going to have 11 wins. Is it? Like
yeah.
they have 9 wins now. They're going to have 11 wins if they win both those games, and then you got to be thinking that you're still not thinking about the playoffs because it's so far off. But they're going to get out of fluke territory because right now I think every expert NHL analyst thinks they're a fluke, and that's fine. I hope they think we're a fluke until the last month of the season. But I like Ben Kendall, and I like that we're bringing Musharraf up now. You may as well play all these guys that you've recently drafted
Yeah.
because even if we snuck into the playoffs this year, we're not really, I don't think we're a contender to win the Stanley Cup. So let's sink or swim with the young guys. And Sid seems to be into it. Malkin's leading the team in assists, which I know is your favorite stat. 11 assists for the ancient Ruski.
So
And yeah, Letang's not playing horrible.
no,
Raquel's
no.
been out, uh, but they got pretty good chemistry right now.
Here's the only thing
Pretty
I can say
excited
is
about it.
I agree with you about the chemistry. I agree with you. How can you not be excited? They're like 9-5-3 or something to that nature, and they're playing well. Their goalies aren't that bad, even though Jari's now out, and the other goalies are playing pretty decent. The key is, I think, for them to even make the playoffs is to win these early games. And the reason why I think that's true is because I think the season goes to what, April. I think those younger kids are going to hit a wall. They're going to hit a wall. So you're better off playing them
What about the
now,
older
trying to.
kids?
Well, the older kids, at least they've been around doing it. But if you can keep the older kids fresh, and I don't want to say abuse, but use the younger ones more strategically, kind of like how the NBA always rests their stars.
Load
You
management.
know, exactly. Do something to that nature if that's what their plan is, and they may be able to get to a playoff and potentially upset somebody in their first round. You're right. I don't think they're Stanley Cup material yet, but it is exciting and refreshing to see something like this. And even Muse, I mean, God love the dude. He's heart and soul into everything, and then I just think that even makes it more exciting. And it's too bad that the Pirates organization and the Steelers organization can't see what that does from a community standpoint, from just an excitement. I yeah, sorry, I go back to Steelers and you sit there and you talk about Hayward and JT Watt and their freaking contracts and deserved money, and it's mushy, mushy, mushy. But anyway, back to the Pens. More exciting because we're both wearing Pens outfits. So I'm all in. I unfortunately haven't been able to see them play, and I know that you and I have text back and forth on games that are going on, or I get to watch the game cast on ESPN. But I'm excited. It's just a little too early at the moment.
Yeah, so let's see what they do over in Sweden. Uh, Who knows, man? I mean, Sid looks like he still has it though. So as long as he's in there and he's keeping them together, you know, I think they can make the playoffs. That's all we can really ask for.
But that's
Because
the defense and
just to
goaltending.
sneak in.
It's their goaltending. They
Yeah,
need
yeah,
good goal and power kill, penalty killing. So the power
yeah.
play will be key.
All right, let's move on to the Buccos real quick.
Oh,
Not
that's
a whole
painful.
lot going on in
Oh,
free
that's
agency,
painful.
but today Charrington did get up at a podium at the GM meetings and say that we had all this financial flexibility and that he's not going to trade Paul Skeens. So my first reaction was, your financial flexibility just means you're going to take all these guys that we traded away, like Bednar and others. Uh, you theoretically have their salaries to spend in free agency this year, and he's probably going to trade Mitch Keller, which is not going to destroy us because we've got a decent young staff. But the question is, are they going to maybe get something for him, or is it just another salary dump? Uh, if it's a salary dump, because Mitch is supposed to make like almost $20 million this year,
Yeah.
which is that's kind of weird to think about that. Mitch Keller making $20 million. Hasn't even won 10 games in one season, I don't think. But he's a good pitcher. He's a good
Yeah.
pitcher, and if you're a good GM, you're not going to harp on wins and losses. You're gonna look at the quality starts that he gives, and you got to be able to get somebody to listen to a trade offer for him, even this early. If he clears out Mitch's salary, and he already cleared out some of these other guys, there's nothing to keep him from going out and getting an actual impact player, impact bat during the offseason. But they won't do that. They won't do that. They'll keep going after the Brian De La Cruzes and the Rowdy Telezes of the world, and he'll try to piecemeal together 5 players with 20 million. And I just can't believe he wasn't fired. Even Bob Nutting has to see that this guy who he won a World Series 12 years ago with Boston. It might have been a little less than that, but it
Yeah.
was somewhere around a decade ago he won a World Series. But his 6 years with us, you know, he hasn't brought in one bat. And if that's not the name of the game, then I don't know what is. I mean, pitching's great. We know we're going to pitch pretty well. We know we're going to have an exciting staff. But the guys coming back, nobody can hit. Not a one of them. And if you expect Connor Griffin to come up this year, you're crazy. The guy played in single A. Maybe he'll come up next year or the year after the strike or whatever, but he's not coming up to save us. So Ben Charrington pretty much demonstrated today why he's one of the most, or maybe the most inept GM in the sport. And there's only, 30 of these jobs on the planet Earth. So why does he still have one? Is my question.
Well,
Under any metric, why does he still have a job?
that's a great question that nobody has the answer to outside of Nutting. But I mean, we all speculated, not speculate the fact that you have no reason to really go out and do anything. So if you go out and get a new GM, the GM's going to want to spend money, right? Get quality bats, infuse a little more dollars to take the team to another level. And what happens if they end up striking because they can't get a deal next year? Now he spent more money. It's a business all over again. You might as well just let Sherrington go in, and like you said, he has more money. He doesn't have more money. Like you had mentioned, the guys are gone, and then you're going to get rid of a $20 million salary with Mitch, unfortunately, which I do think is a really good pitcher. They just have never given him the support, run support to win. So you're going to have that money, and you're not going to do anything with it. You might get another Spencer Horowitz. But even if you get a couple more bats, and we've talked about this, that team stinks. Go position by position and tell me who we have that's worth dog poo. Maybe Nick Gonzalez. I like Nick, but the rest of them, behind home plate,
We got a lot of guys that are worth dog poo, dude.
yeah, Rubber
We
first
got like
base,
15 of
shortstop, third.
them.
Jared Trivio is a Golden Glove guy. What
Gold
the
Glover,
shit's that?
minor
Who's
league
out in
Gold
the
Glover.
outfield? Poor Brian Reynolds. And then the tall dude in center, they can't tie his shoelace. And then I don't even know who the hell we had right. And then you have Kutch. I mean, Kutch, you got to just retire on good graces, brother. Don't get pulled down and sucked down into this shit with the Pirates. Go out on top. Don't go out at the bottom.
I do agree with that. I think Cut should say it's over. And if he wants to
Yeah.
keep playing, he should go latch on with the Yankees or something because,
Yes.
he's not. Last year was supposed to be the year that he was able to make a difference with some of these younger guys. And I didn't see any. We talked before the season started about how he and Tommy Pham should be able to mentor O'Neal Cruz on how to play the outfield. But I don't think O'Neal Cruz listened to one syllable that came out of either one of those guys' mouth the whole year.
No.
And, Sawinski, we keep bringing up
Uh,
Sawinski and play
that
to
guy's like a
play. And
yo-yo.
so, yeah, Kutch, just, sail off, brother. You don't have to come back and play for $5 million again. You can go play for $10 million for the Mets or the Yankees and just be one of
Yeah.
their bench guys.
Shit, go to the Brewers. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just a shame. And like you said too, it's such a quality starting rotation. It really can be there, but the defense is not going to be there. And then you're not going to have that. He doesn't know how to find bats. And there over 6 years, you're telling me you couldn't develop three or four bats within the system. You couldn't draft them. We drafted Hank. No, not we. I'm sorry. They drafted Henry #1 as a catcher, and they've never really put him in a situation where he's been able to really develop. They've kind of rushed him through, and then he's been up and down and up and down. And good old Joey Bart. Remember the game we were at? Thank
Yeah, I
you,
got to post that
Joey Bart.
video. I got to post that
Oh,
video.
but I mean, Joey
We
Bart's
witnessed the
been.
Joey Bart home run.
Yes, we did. We also witnessed him not being able to knock in a run. Hey,
Well, let me ask you this about Henry Davis is he's a like a well put together dude. Short, but, good athlete. But how many catchers do you see these days that power hitting catchers that have kind of his build? I mean, my favorite dude of all time right now is Alejandro Kirk of the Toronto Blue Jays. That guy's like 5'2". He weighs like 260, but
yeah,
he's got such torque on his swing, man. He's a great contact hitter, and he's a really
yeah,
good defensive catcher. So, then you flash over to Hank, who I guess he's probably weighs about 100 pounds less than Alejandro Kirk, but you would think he has the same kind of mechanics, though, with his swing. He got the low center of gravity. He's got the strong legs. But all he does, and I realize this is probably just out of nervousness and trying too hard or whatever else is going through his mind right now, but all he does is try to pull the ball as hard as he can and maybe try to hit a home run out to the short porch in left field at PNC Park. The guy doesn't he doesn't really work the strike zone. He doesn't hit. And it's so bizarre for a catcher because you figure a catcher is going to have the best handle on the strike zone of any on the team, and he just doesn't do it. And yeah, it's probably because Charrington and the staff just don't know how to develop him, and there was just way too much pressure put on him. But in a year where Cal Raleigh hits 60 home runs or whatever it was, and he's a bigger dude, and a lot of catchers are just bigger guys than Henry Davis. So it brings you back to, he's an overall #1 pick. Didn't they see some of this stuff in him when he was in college? Because we've drafted some guys, Nick Gonzalez being one of them, supposed to be the best bat in the draft, and we got him. Way back in the past, we've drafted guys like Chad Hermanson and others who or just these incredible prospects coming out of college.
Pedro the Turd
But
Alvarez.
why can't they see that college baseball is not an accurate barometer for a pro player? You know, why is it that even Dylan Cruz, the guy that went right behind Skeens, and there was all this speculation that the Pirates were going to take Dylan Cruz, but Dylan Cruz didn't want to come to Pittsburgh, so they settled for Skeens, which is funny to think about.
That's awesome.
But Dylan Cruz, is that guy ever going to be a player? I mean, he looks like he's just going to be a 260 hitter with a little bit of pop. He's got a decent arm, you know. But the only reason I'm saying that is that I think people are more excited about the future of that guy, who's just going to be another guy. He's going to be Chad Hermanson, basically. Uh, and nobody thinks Henry Davis is going to be in baseball in 2 years. That's an overall number one pick.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're going to do with him. Endy's coming back. He probably should get a crack at the catching position. Endy Rodriguez.
I think Andy's the guy, in my opinion. I think that they need to. I mean, to go on everything you're saying, yeah, I think it comes down to coaching. I don't think they've had the right hitting instructors in developing that hitting for any of the players. And when you talk about Hank, Hank might be that Biggio. Take him and make him a second baseman. Take Nick, move him to shortstop. And I've always liked Dendy, but I think they ruined Dendy's arm. You know, I mean, come on, guys, we can't throw the ball 365 days. You got to have a break. You got to work on other things as well. And I just think that's a situation that, how are they ever going to get back? And Sherrington's just going to be there next year. He's not going
Well,
anywhere. But
Endy didn't hurt his elbow again, right? He broke his hand, right?
yeah, but
He broke.
did he break his hand, or is he
Yeah, I
coming back from
think.
the elbow?
No, I think he broke his hand because I remember watching the game. Like there was one of those wild swings, or it might have just been a foul tip that hit him, like right in the hand. And so I'm pretty sure before that happened to him, he was throwing the ball well. So I mean, it's similar to pitchers. Maybe he can come back and throw the ball harder after that Tommy John surgery. But I get your point. It's like moving Hank is a solid idea, but I don't think you're moving him to the infield. He doesn't have a kind of foot speed. He's no Craig Biggio.
I don't know. I didn't know
So,
Craig Biggio had foot speed back then.
well, he's stealing bases. I mean, can you imagine Henry Davis stealing 10 bases in a year? I don't know.
Do
I
they
think
even
they just
teach it anymore? I mean,
blew that
you're
pick
almost.
bad.
I mean, I was watching Moneyball. I don't know why the other night. It's like when Brad Pitt, what's his name, is they're in the scouting report and they're going, "Well, how are we going to take 38, or how are we going to supplement 38 home runs, 120 RBIs, blah blah blah?" You can't, because you're not going to pay for it. So you got to go out there and find what the OPS is, and you got to find what you can give to get people on base. And I don't know, maybe that's the trick to do, but it's just going to be bad next year. It's again, we do this every year, and I sit there and I think, wow, what a waste of the athletes that are playing for the Steelers and the Pirates. What a waste, year after year after year, and it's a disappointment. It's a struggle. It's not like the '70s, It's not like the '80s. It's not even like the '90s when you had Van Slyke and Bonds and Panelia and Mike, and it's just, it was like we were fans. It was sports. It was baseball. Now it's like, it's a business. We don't care if they win or lose. Which also
Yeah.
goes to the point. You and I need to buy season tickets. We can give them up. We
All
can give
right.
away at
Well,
the show.
that's enough depressing news. Let's move on to the Panthers and Mountaineers, which I've been looking up lately, especially on the Pitt football side. Talk about this quarterback a little bit. You guys going to be able to keep him, and what makes him so much better than Holstein?
Mason Heinzel.
And how do you pronounce his
Nice.
name?
Heinzel is his last name. I think he's having a nice 5 game start, but so did Holstein last year. Now it might not have been exactly the same start. Will they be able to hold him? Yeah, they'll provide him the ideal because they'll take the money away from Holstein or whoever else that they have as they graduate players as well. So if he's the guy, I mean, Cade Bell's the one who found him, the diamond in the rough, if you want to say it. But as I had talked to you once before, he turns the ball over. He's a freshman. He if you're going to do that in big games against Notre Dame, Georgia Tech, and Miami, you're going to eventually lose those games. They're potentially not winnable games if you're going to turn the ball over. I mean, he could shock everybody and help the offense score 30 some odd points and the defense play tough, and they go through in 3-0. You and I had this conversation. Who did Notre Dame play in their last 5 victories? USC. Ooh, okay, USC. But I mean, the other victories weren't that impressive, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with the 3 games. And if they win 3 games, great. They lose. Again, I'm not a big Pat Narduzzi fan. I don't think he's the guy. Again, we've had this conversation. Kurt Signetti takes JMU, goes to Indiana his first year, and they're like almost in the playoffs. The second year, they're number 2, and I'm sitting here 10 years later with a guy named Pat Narduzzi, and okay, we've won the ACC Coastal twice, won the championship once in 10 years. Freaking Signetti in his second year is undefeated at number 2. I
Yeah,
mean,
Kurt
what
Signetti
AD
made the
had to
playoff last year.
did they
He
make?
made the playoff last year,
They
and then
made
this year he's won at Oregon and Penn State.
Yeah. So
So
what
yeah, he's
what
rolling.
AD did Pitt have that had its cranium up its starfish? Jesus.
Yeah, he's a Pennsylvania guy too. So
Yeah.
nobody ever gave him a crack before, probably because of the family history. Although I think his dad's in the Hall of Fame. So
Could be.
yeah, Pitt football looking up. WVU football's looking up a little bit. They've won 2 in a row, including a win over Coach Prime.
Yeah,
Uh,
baby.
WVU found a quarterback, also a true freshman named Scotty Fox from Ohio. So they're going to probably take their lumps here the next couple weeks, though. They're at Arizona State and hosting Texas Tech.
Ooh.
So that'll probably come to a thud of an ending. But last 2 weeks have been good. What about on the basketball side? Tomorrow night, which if people are watching this, it's probably going to be posted after this game. But tomorrow at 6 o'clock is the backyard basket brawl with Coach Capel and his boys coming into Morgantown to face Ross Hodge, the new coach at West Virginia, because Darren DeVries went to Indiana. And it should be a packed house with all kinds of flying objects and F-bombs and chants. So that's going to be a good one. Who knows what those two teams are going to do. But,
Yeah. I mean,
it's definitely better than the beginning of the football season, which it looked like Pitt wasn't going to do anything. And we all knew WVU wasn't going to do anything this year because they just don't have enough structure and guys in yet. But Pitt's looking up. If they can pull the upset this Sunday, who knows, man? Who knows?
so is that an
Might be
upset
heading to the
if they
playoff.
Oh,
Well,
you're
I'm
talking
sure
about Sunday football.
Notre Dame's
Yeah, yes,
Saturday.
you're right.
Saturday.
I thought
Notre Dame's
you were talking
favorite,
about
I
the
think.
basketball game. I'm like, is that an upset? I thought they're both kind of even.
Oh,
Pitt
you
and
mean
West
Pitt
Virginia?
WVU? I don't even know
Yeah.
what the spread is. I
I
imagine
mean,
the spread is probably close to even. Yeah.
yeah, I just again,
It
another
doesn't
coach.
matter, if Pitt beats Notre Dame though in football, then it's just the Miami game, right? They just got to
No.
find a way to win that.
Well, no. If Pitt beats Notre Dame, the only thing that does is give them a quality win. They have to beat Georgia Tech and Miami to even remotely have a chance to get to the championship title game. And they also have to have other situations occur with what Virginia, Duke. There's somebody else. So
Yeah.
it is what it is, I guess. And I hate that phrase, but they'll figure out something, and it can be a good year or an average year. I mean, looking back, you know, everything is in hindsight, but looking forward, some positive stuff with Heinzel, no doubt about it. I think the key is going to be Reed. Desmond Reed needs to be healthy. He hasn't been healthy all year, and I have no idea what is going on. And maybe that's because he's just not big enough to handle everything, from a size perspective. I don't know. that for a fact. I think he's got a big heart, which will help him get through a lot. But if he can't take the hits as much as he is, I don't know what they're going to do. We'll have to see.
Yeah, well, it's exciting at least. Well, let's wrap it up by thanking John Crawford at Crawford's Black and Gold for
Yeah,
being our official sponsor. And, in the coming weeks, we're going to be more consistent and get back going and start some polls and some other fun stuff. So be tuning in for that. And I will catch up with you next week then, brother. Talk a
you
little bit
got it,
more
sir.
sports.
G-Man, it's always a pleasure.
Yeah, same here. I'll talk to you soon. Let's
You
go.
got it. Hey, have a good night for you, Hillbilly Yinzers. We love y'all.